Hey guys, thank you very much for joining me and my very shiny face for this highlighter swatch declutter. I do have an intention to at least go through some of my makeup. I know I want to go through my blush and some of my single eyeshadows. I don't think I'll do a complete collection like I did last time. I will link that playlist above and below if you are interested in seeing those videos. But I'm just feeling like I probably have some similar products. I can get rid of something. I'm just feeling like I need to declutter. So that's what we're doing. So these are the current highlighters in my collection. So let's just get down to it. I'm actually gonna start on these outer items, these Wet n Wild highlighters, and just to swatch them out. Now these two I've done videos on. These are the powder highlighters from the spring 2017 collection. This one is called Lilac to Reality. It's a really pretty purple highlighter. It is definitely not something that I wear every day, but I definitely like having it in my collection. You can see it's quite purple and very shiny. I've actually used this as an eyeshadow before as well, and it works out very nice for that. The second one in this collection was called the Sweetest Bling, is called the Sweetest Bling, and this is much more natural-ish, depending on your skin tone, of course. It's not quite as pigmented. Its swatch is pretty similar, but on the cheeks, it definitely takes some building up if you want that, you know, stripe highlighter thing, which to each their own. But you can see it's definitely much more pink. Almost has a little bit of a deeper rosy hue to it. Next, let me swatch this one because I think that might be a little bit similar, more similar to the Sweetest Bling. Now, this was another limited edition Wet n Wild product from a couple years ago. This is the Sunset Junction Blush and Glow Trio. I love this, and this highlighter is one of my favorites that I have. So it's a little bit warmer. This the Sweetest Bling is a little bit more icy. It's much less metallic looking. So on the cheeks it looks a little bit more natural, I guess. It's a little bit less shiny, but I really like it. Well, let's keep going with the Wet n Wild. So this next one is yet another limited edition Wet n Wild highlighter. This was the gold highlighting bar. This was for Christmas of last year. And, you know, obviously it's gold. This one I find I don't reach for as much, so it might go depending on how this swatch fest goes. All right, now we're getting into the things that I feel like might be quite similar. So let's start with another Wet n Wild highlighter. So this is the highlighting powder in Precious Petals. It's really pretty. The detail on the actual pan is very nice. So let's swatch this out. So it has a little bit more of a rosy gold thing going on compared to the highlighting gold bar. This was a product that was limited edition, but people freaked out about it enough that they brought it back into their permanent collection. All right, next let's swatch this highlighter from e.l.f. This is one of their baked highlighters. It's in the shade Blush Gems. This is my most recent highlighter acquisition, and it was one of those products, it was a very spur of the moment. Ooh. So they're very similar shades. The Wet n Wild highlighter is a little bit more pink and definitely more pigmented. The swatch of the, what can we see? You can see that swatch is a little more sheer, slightly patchy. Next, let's swatch out. This is the highlighter I'm wearing today. This is an e.l.f. Baked Eyeshadow. It's in the shade Enchanted. What I love about that one is it's almost a little duochromy. I don't know if you'll be able to see on the swatch, but when I wear it as a highlighter, I'm always like, oh, hey, I like that. It's definitely more shiny. It's a similar tone as the highlighting gold bar, but the highlighting gold bar is a little bit more sparkly. All right, we have 2 more highlighters to swatch, and these are both cream highlighters. This first one is an e.l.f. product. It's in the shade Persimmon. I do not remember what these were called. I don't know if they still make them anymore. I will look that up and put a thing here somewhere. It's quite pink. It looks similar to the Wet n Wild Precious Petals. It's like the love child of Precious Petals and Sweetest Bling. And then last but not least is this NYX Away We Glow cream highlighter. This is our liquid highlighter. This is in the shade Moonbeam. It's much more peach, I think. So as I look at these all swatched out, I know for sure I can get rid of the blush gems. Absolutely. I can get rid of this e.l.f. stick. I never use it. It's pretty, but you know, it's nothing that I don't already have. Obviously, the purple one is quite unique. I don't have anything like that in my collection, so I think that can hang around. I do definitely like the Sweetest Bling, and I wear that enough, I think, to justify having it. This is one of my favorite products that I own in my collection. If I had to get rid of all of these and could just keep this, it would suck, but it would be fine, you know what I mean? So I definitely want to keep that around, not just for the highlighter, but for the blush and the bronzer. I have really been loving this highlighter, this Away We Glow highlighter. This actually could probably go in a project pan because I've already made a pretty good dent in it. So if I wanted to kind of move through that a little bit quicker, I certainly could do that. This e.l.f. Baked Eyeshadow, I do use a good amount, and I think I can definitely keep that around. So these are the only 2 that I'm like, I don't know, because, I mean, mostly it's just because these are really pretty. I use this certainly more than, I use this enough to justify keeping this, but this I just don't. And I think this has enough of that golden hue that I could declutter this. So I think I'm gonna say goodbye to the Wet n Wild Gold highlighter. All right, so final tally. We are keeping Lilac to Reality, the Sweetest Bling, the Wet n Wild Trio, decluttering the highlighting gold bar, keeping Precious Petals from Wet n Wild, decluttering e.l.f. Blush Gems, keeping e.l.f. Baked Eyeshadow in Enchanted, decluttering this e.l.f. stick in Persimmon, and keeping the Away We Glow Moonbeam highlighter from NYX. So I think this might actually be a short and sweet video. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully it was not too boring. I mostly just wanted to do this for myself, and I figured, why not film it? And I probably will be doing a similar setup for my blush, and we'll see what else happens. So let me know how this works. If, you know, if nothing's in focus, you can't see anything, then obviously this is not a good setup to use. But keep me posted, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!